John Lennon's song Imagine envisions a future world in which humanity is not divided into nations. There's nothing to kill for, nothing to die for. All of humanity is one. We could debate about the future, but according to the Torah, this vision, in fact, was a reality in the past. God created us with one ancestor for reasons, according to the Mishnah in Sanhedrin, is that there should be shalom, there should be peace, that no one could say to the other, my father is greater than your father. At the end of Parashat Noach, the Torah tells us, depicts humanity as being one nation, one language. So the question is, what happened? What went wrong? How was this original unity lost? The answer to this question lies in the story of the collapse of the Tower of Babel. And if we understand that story's message, we can understand the significance of the diversity of mankind today. Most people understand the story of the Tower of Babel according to Rashi's approach. Rashi sees that the reason God destroyed led the tower to be destroyed is because mankind was overly ambitious. It wasn't enough for them to be given mastery of the earth. They wanted the heavens as well. So they built a tower to storm the heavens, and God, to stop them, had to lead to the collapse of the tower. According to this approach, unity is not bad in itself. However, when used for negative purposes, it has to be unraveled. However, Rashi's grandson, the Rashbam, takes the opposite approach. Humanity weren't overachievers, they were underachievers. At the beginning of the Torah, humanity is given a purpose, a mission. We are designated to fill the earth, to conquer the earth. In the Tower of Babel, humanity didn't want to spread out. They wanted to all stay together. And the Rashbam's approach is quite explicit in the verses. The Torah, the builders of the towers say exactly why they're building the tower, in order that we should not be spread out on the face of the earth. God sees that the divine plan will not unfold, so he gives them, not as a punishment, but as a helpful push in the right direction. And they're not willing to spread out, so God spreads them out. And diversity is not only geographic, but also cultural, because from one language they became many languages. Now, if I once believed that God surely wants the unity of humanity, and it's us who've got things messed up. But now I realize that the opposite's the case. Humanity wanted unity. It's God who wanted us to be separate. It's clear to us what's the price of the division of humanity. The question is, what is its value? I think we can understand better the story of humanity by looking it through the prism of the Kabbalistic metaphor of the shattering of the vessels. According to the Kabbalah, the original state of the world was that of unity compared to vessels receiving the divine light. However, the vessels shattered and the light was scattered throughout the world. The purpose of our world is to rebuild the vessels and allow the divine light to shine again into them. By comparing it to the story of humanity, I would say humanity began unified. This original unity was shattered, and ultimately, based on the visions of the prophets, humanity will return to a state of unity. Now, the big question is, why was the original unity shattered? What made God lead to this cataclysmatic event? There are many answers to this question. I'd like to share you the answer of Rav Kook, which I think is very apropos to the application of this metaphor to the story of humanity. According to Rav Kook, the world began unified, but that meant it lacked diversity. And unity without diversity is the making of a totalitarian world, which books such as Brave New World in 1984 aptly described. So to achieve the vision of the rich world that we were heading to, God had to shatter the unity, which forced every part of humanity, of reality, to develop in its own course, leading to a great diversity, to the great price and pain to this diversity. But ultimately, the vision is to come back to a world returning to unity, but a different unity than we had at the beginning. A unity which the nations, they are independent nations, they are independent languages, but people are living in harmony for a common purpose, the purpose of the serving of God. Earlier I quoted the Mishnah in Sanhedrin that teaches that humanity was created with a common ancestor to show that we are all connected. However, the same Mishnah in Sanhedrin teaches us the opposite point from that same fact. The Mishnah in Sanhedrin gives another reason why we were all created with one ancestor, to show us the greatness of God. When we make a mold, everything that comes out of that mold will be identical. But when God made a mold, and out of the mold came the first man, the greatness of God allows that all of humanity coming from that first man, each different than the other. And because of the uniqueness of every person, the Mishnah concludes that we can all say, Bishvili nivra ha'olam, for me the world was created. Shabbat Shalom.